I'm going to call the 11:30. It is now 11:30, so I'm going to call our technology committee meeting to order for Tuesday, December 5. Can I get a roll call, please?
Berlin.
Here.
Cahill. Here. Here. Eckhoff.
Here.
Galassi. Here. Dustin. Here. Henry. Kazmarek.
Here.
Mendrick. Rutledge. Here. White.
Here.
You.
I'm here. All right, so thank you so much for coming this morning. I understand that I know that there was a bit of a break, so thank you so much for making sure that we have quorum today for our committee meeting. I just have really quick remarks. As you know, Wendy's not here, really sad, and that our deputy CIO search is still pending. This is the last meeting for 2023, and I am going to make the executive decision to cancel our January 2nd meetings because I don't believe we'll have many agenda items for the January 2nd meeting, and two, all the other committee meetings have been essentially canceled, except for CDC, which a couple of us have to attend anyway. I just want to thank Anthony McPherson and IT and everybody here in this committee for making 2023 such a great year as my first year for technology, as technology chair. So thanks guys, I really appreciate it. And the last thing is that starting in 2024, our meetings will no longer be at 11:30 a.m., but will be switched to 11 a.m. So that CDC and home will be after us. It is also my understanding that sometimes development does go over. So Sarah was just mentioning to me that we may post it as 11 a.m. or whenever development is finished, because I believe there's at least 2 members who are in development. Is that right? Yes. So for that reason, okay. All right.
3,500.
And yes, we will not be here because we have such a large group. We will be in 3,500 feet.
Good. All good stuff.
Great. So do we have any public comments, Sarah?
No.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes
So
of Tuesday, November 21, 2023? I have a motion and a second. Are there any revisions or discussion with regard to those minutes? And hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those minutes pass. Going on to procurement requisitions, can I get a motion for TEP 000124, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. for professional services for GIS data, migration support, and training for the Esri Enterprise Advantage Program for IT, the period of January 17, 2024 through January 16, 2025, for a contract total amount of $136,000. Thanks for the motion and for the second. Do we have any discussion with regard to this item? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that passes. Moving on to consent items, can I get a motion to combine 7A, 7B, and 7C with regard to these decrease and close items? Thanks for the motion and for the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And so now, can I get a motion to for 240003 CDW LLC decrease and close PO, 240004 Inside Public Sector decrease and close, and 240005 SHI International Corp decrease and close. I have a motion and a second. Are there any is there any discussion with regard to this as to why we're decreasing and closing these?
No, Chair, for me,
Yeah.
these are just really cleanup items for us.
Yeah.
So they're open POs we've had out there. We're trying to clean up the books and get rid of them if we don't need them.
Great. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and do we have, oh, and now we have an IT project updates.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Committee members, so as you know, we try to provide you with project updates on a quarterly basis or as needed. So it's been a few months since we've had our last IT project update session. So there's kind of a lot here. I'm going to try to get through it quickly, but feel free to ask questions as necessary. So the first one I want to give you an update on, you are all aware of because it affects you directly, and that's our .gov move. It's been 2 strong years. I'd like to commend the network team, starting with Joe Hamlin, Greg Dannenberg, Stephen Beach, Saeed Alam, and the entire network team for doing this over the past 2 years. Initially, we moved the website to DuPagecounty.gov, and this year our focus was on the email addresses. Want to highlight that the team finished 11 days ahead of time, which is always a good thing. We budgeted for consultants to come and help us do this because it can be pretty complex. We've had DuPage code.org for years, right? So it's embedded in our applications, it's embedded in how people work. So it takes a lot in order to unbundle those things through our email system and other systems as well. So the team did a great job, but they did not need the help of consultants. So they saved us $175,000 this year for that reason. So great job to the team. Also, very smooth project this year. Less than 1% of our users actually posted issues or escalated issues. The team was able to resolve them within 40 hours, all of them. So we impacted over 1,500 mailboxes, over 30 major applications, and many, many links on our website. So the last of this is that even though we are officially done, over the next year, we know there's going to be some cleanup work. We may find an application that still has DuPageCounty.org or a link, and we know that we're going to have to fix those. All of the ones that we currently are aware of, we have addressed. And we do know that there are some apps that we have not addressed. Let me say that too, because it just doesn't make sense to change them right now, right? The impact is bigger than us having to do with it. There's no plan to sunset DuPage DuPageCode.org at this time. We will reassess in about a year to see where we are, but we just may let it naturally go away. Right. All right, so that's .gov. So thank you, Joe and team. ERP system, just wanted to give you a heads up. I think the chair actually provided an update in her last meeting of where we are, but I just wanted to show that we're making progress. There are two separate phases. First phase is HR payroll. It's underway with our Ceridian and application Dayforce. Implementation started in August. We're on track for a 12-month go live. And then finance, we are still, we created the RFP for it, but it's on hold until we're done with the HR payroll piece. We think we'll start that one in the summer of 2024.
Summer 24 is when the RFP will go out?
Correct.
Okay.
It's when the RFP goes. Yeah, probably early summer before we're even done with the HR payroll system. If we know for sure we're on track to finish around August, we may issue it in June or so to get it going, so that as soon as we're done with HR payroll, we roll right into finance. All right, moving on to Info Special Projects. So you hear a lot about the new ERP system through our RFP efforts, so on our RFP efforts for the most part, but you don't hear a lot about what's going on in the current ERP environment Infor. So I wanted to highlight two internal projects that the team has worked very hard on and have done a fantastic job of completing, that it impacts all of our Infor users, which is quite a few people. So the first one is our Smart Office, which is how our users access Infor. It's a client or desktop app that they would click on in order to access Infor and get access to the reports and information. That particular application is, I think, 20 years old. We did not implement the new version, Mingle, when we went live in 2014. My guess, I wasn't here, but my guess is because it was a newer product and the county wasn't ready for it. It's 10 years later, we need to replace the Smart Office application for functionality reasons, security reasons, and the vendor is pushing us to do it. They no longer fully support it, or they support it, but they don't support it as much as they support Mingle, which is their premier product. So the team had about 2 months to complete that. Alma Montero, Nancy Smoot, and Diana McCrae. Alma, who's the project manager and lead of that group, led this initiative. It impacted 250 users. And now they're on the Mingle portal, which is actually a cloud solution or a cloud application. So we went from being on-prem to the cloud. Or web applications, sorry. Web application, not cloud. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So what is the use of that?
So the N4 is the backend application. The portal gives them access to the backend information, which helps with HR information, HR reporting, payroll, finance. The auditor uses it for access to financial information, but it's just the front end so that they can get to the information
need
on
to go.
N4
All
where
right,
they need to
thank
go.
you.
All right, and then so kudos to them for completing that. And then at the same time, they were hit with a curveball from Microsoft and Infor. In June, we were told that Infor would no longer support any environment that's running on their Windows Server 2012 environment, which is an older operating system for servers. Microsoft, we knew that they would no longer support it, but we didn't know that Infor wouldn't support applications that ran on it. So soon as Alma found out about that particular issue, she worked with procurement to issue an RFP to bring in a consultant to help us come in and do it. I think they did a tremendous job in a short period of time. So within a 6-month period, they issued an RFP, selected a vendor, and then they migrated over 10 servers over to a new environment that's more secure and is now fully supported. So before, the application was not supported as of mid-October by both Microsoft and Infor. Now it's fully supported by both technology companies.
This is something we voted on before.
This is something we talked about before. Yeah, it was Intellius. You guys voted on it, the board voted on it in OED Tech Committee in September. So got approved in September, we brought them in and worked with them too. So kudos to the team for working with quite a few users to not only stand up, and the infrastructure team also supported, stand up the new environment, but then work with all of those different departments, elected official offices to move them over to this new environment. They tested it, it went live actually Monday. And so far so good. We've had minor issues that were able to be resolved same day. All right, learning management system. So we have been on the same learning management system for quite some time. The existing learning management system, Course Mill, is older technology. We've had support issues with the company, them not being responsive and not being very supportive, and just using older technology. So you all actually approved this one as well. We selected a new application called Absorb. And from November 2023 to sometime in February, maybe March, we're going to move off of Course Mill, which is our old training site, over to the new Absorb application. So the new application is available mainly to internal departments and elected official offices, but we do use it. External people also use it, but it allows for all of our employees to access training whenever they need it. Right, so we do it now. Existing training is on the current application. It will all be migrated over to Absorb. That application will give them the ability to use their mobile devices. It's mobile device friendly. It's more accessible for people with who need accommodations. It's more secure. It uses single sign-on and Okta for multi-factor authentication. So it's just a much better and safer product. We'll be able to do our annual training to employees on this new platform and a lot more. It allows us, it's a more robust application that we'll be able to use and do. So we just started this one, so you'll hear more about it, but wanted to make sure you're aware of it. All right, you may have been part, I know some of the elected officials like Bill and Kathy were on an email I sent out recently, given notice that we are going to shut down our 40-year-old mainframe in November of 2024. So we've set the date to November 30th. Shanita Thompson and VG Ramaswamy, who's not here today, they're helping me lead that effort to get all applications off of the mainframe. There are very few left, to be honest. We've moved the majority of them off, but there are still a few, and there are some organizations that still use it to access data, but also to still run reports and jobs. All those things have been identified. The team have identified basically a path for all of them, either a new solution to move them to, or to sunset them completely because we don't need them. They're redundant or old reports that we don't need anymore. So the timeline is from December of this year to November 30th, 2024. All mainframe users will be impacted. The great thing I should have put here, didn't put here, is that once we sunset the mainframe, we'll save close to $500,000 a year in maintenance. So that goes away.
And you get the space.
And you get, yeah,
I don't know. Well, I
What are you
imagine
gonna
there
do with
are.
the mainframe?
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna shut it down.
Or recycle it?
We're gonna go through a recycling company, get them out, get those boxes out of there. We don't need them
It
anymore.
is amazing.
Yeah, and we will reclaim space. So eventually, I'm going a little off script here, but I'll mention it to you guys. So Joe and I, the network manager, have talked about it before. We have this big, beautiful data center. We want to reclaim some of that space. And by getting rid of this huge mainframe and some of our old servers as well, we will be able to reclaim space for our team and, you know, do some different
What
things
used
with it.
to take rooms.
Used
now
to
takes
take half a
that.
floor. Yeah, used to take half a floor for old data centers, and now they're small rooms that you can put equipment in. So, yeah. All right. So, wanted you all to be aware of that one. You'll hear us repeat this one over and over because mainframe is a big deal. We've used it for 40 years. People still depend on it. So, it's not just a matter of getting moving to new technology, but it's also a matter of ensuring that the people who are comfortable with it are comfortable with moving to something different too, right? So that takes time. Yeah, it takes a little time. So you'll hear us repeat it and send messages out to remind people, because once November hits, I'm going to save us some money. I'm going to shut it down and save us some money. So, all right. So mainframe, cybersecurity, you always hear this and always will hear us. We're always doing things. As you know, the security is a big issue and always will be. This is something we'll always have to talk about moving forward, but we're always making changes to make us safer as an organization. One of the things that now makes us much safer as an organization is managed detection and response services. MDR is what it's commonly referred to, is basically a solution, a third-party solution that scans constantly 24/7, 365, 24/7, 7 days a week. They scan basically for threats, right? To let us know that there's threats, and they also are available to help us respond to those threats if we're ever hit with them. So initially, we were going to pay for service through a competitive process, an RFP process. We found out in the summer that the state of Illinois, through a federal grant, purchased an MDR solution on behalf of all counties and all municipalities within the state of Illinois. We took advantage of that, and we are now implementing it. It's called CrowdStrike Falcon Complete MDR. They are giving us all the licensing that we need in order to push it out here in DuPage County. I believe that will probably save us hundreds of thousands of dollars in licensing. So thanks to the state of Illinois for this program and using the infrastructure dollars to do that. But thanks to the team for taking advantage of it. So we decided, why try to move forward with the RFP if we have this free solution out here. By the way, CrowdStrike is one of the leaders in cybersecurity and IT security throughout the world. So it's a really solid solution. We're happy with it so far. We started rolling it out. It's not complete yet. We hope that Michelle Amonte, our cybersecurity specialist, she's testing it and she plans to roll it out over the next couple of months fully. But so far so good, we're in good shape. All right, and then the second item I wanted you to be aware of is cyber liability insurance. Also want to give a special thanks to Michelle Amonte and the security team. They have hardened our environment so much that in previous years, last year, no other insurance carriers responded to our request for quotes. Only Beasley, the incumbent, responded, and they did not raise the rates, but they responded, provided us with a quote. We've done so much that we actually had 4 organizations bid. on it or provide proposals. So this year, we're actually going with a different solution. It's called Coalition. It's $20,000 a year less. So the premium for Beasley was $170,000. This is $150,000. We have up to $3 million in coverage. With Beasley, we had $2.5 million in coverage. So we get more coverage for less money now. And it's really because of the efforts of the team, making sure that we're secure. They ran an assessment, we're solid, and they feel that they can provide better coverage for less now for us. So Coalition is an A-rated organization. They're also offering some freebies to us, and it's always good to have freebies. So they're going to offer some solutions that the other company charge for. They're going to offer them to us for free. So we started that transition on December 1st. So we're now with Coalition along with Beasley. So the only part I always put watch items, things to kind of keep our eye on is that it's a new company. You have to, get used to the new company. We're not 100% sure if they're going to provide the same support as Beasley. Beasley provided very good support. We assume that they are, but we'll watch and see. All right. And then last but not least, these are additional projects that I just want you to be aware of. I'm not going to go in detail, but I do want to highlight our police records management team completed the implementation of NIVERS, which is a state reporting tool. And it was a requirement by the state of Illinois that we implement this throughout for all police agencies in DuPage County. We completed that, and they're now all on this new reporting tool. We also selected a new e-discovery tool, which helps our state's attorney's office easier for them to do searches and mailboxes for information when they're doing litigation. It's a newer product by Microsoft. So when we used Microsoft before and we had an older product, they came out with a new product that has a lot of bells and whistles. So we're very pleased with it so far. PRMS, MFR, OCR, that is the hexagon application that's used to manage the house police records. We're upgrading that infrastructure and that application from the current version FBR to MFR. We're upgrading over the next 12 to 18 months. We've just started that project, so you'll hear more about it. We want you to be aware of that. That should help the police departments get access to police records faster. The infrastructure is faster. It's a more secure application as well. And it addresses some of their reporting needs as well that the old application couldn't address. We're also moving to phase 2 of the website project. That's the intranet implementation. So intranet is essentially our internal website. It's how our internal staff access information and documents and forms. What we currently have in place is older and isn't used often. We hope that by moving to a new platform that we address that. So we are working with a vendor on a new solution. We'll have more for you. We're still working out some of the details, but our goal is next year is to implement this so that we collaborate better, internally through departments and elected official offices. There's ways to do that with a better platform. And then last but not least, we are moving forward with a new FOIA request. So we have a homegrown solution now. It meets basic needs, but what it doesn't do is help our state's attorney's office keep track of all requests. This new tool, which is by Granicus, called Granicus QA, will do that, right? It'll help us keep track of things. It'll help us send things to the state's attorney's office for final approval and review. As an organization, we'll just do a better job of tracking whenever we receive FOIA requests. Yeah.
Yes, Member Cahill.
Oh, are these items budgeted for already?
They're all budgeted, all covered. So you all approved the Granicus tool as part of our the IT department's FY 2024 budget request. Yeah, each and every one of them is budgeted for. So yeah, and yeah, it always is. Infrastructure project, the intranet project, we're using the existing application. The PRMS part, that is not through the general fund, that's through the DuPage budget, which is separate from from this. We are actually reimbursed by the police departments on that. So we don't actually pay for anything dealing with PRMS. It's actually paid for out of that fund where we recover the money from the police departments. And e-discovery tool is part of our Microsoft suite. So that is also covered. All right. So a lot to cover. Any additional questions, but wanted to make sure you're aware of what we're doing and you know, what our plans are for the near future.
Nice job. Yeah, great job.
But thanks goes to the team.
Yeah.
So really, I have a great team who's really on top of things.
Thank you for the presentation and thank you to the team for all the different projects. It's always impressive to me to know all the different things that you guys are doing, pending, completed, all that stuff. So thank you. Right, so is there any old business? Okay, and any new business? No? All right, just want to wish you guys happy holidays and thank you to everybody. We're adjourned till next year.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Chair.
Good job.